Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Kurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 25th of September. India's ruling BJP holds national executive meet in New Delhi, discusses strategy. Pakistan's UN ambassador goofs up, labels Palestinian victim as Kashmiri girl. And railway line connecting Nepal, India to become functional from next year. And now for all the details. 4 militants were killed in an encounter with security forces in Uri sector of Indian Kashmir on Sunday, said an army official on Monday. A search operation was underway to clear the area of explosives and recover the bodies.
Security forces on Sunday gunned down 4 militants in an encounter in Uri sector of Indian Kashmir, the Indian Army said on Monday. Acting on specific inputs about the presence of militants in Kalgai area, security forces launched a cordon and search operation. As the security forces were laying a cordon, the militants opened fire upon them. An encounter ensued, during which the 4 militants were killed. The security forces also recovered a huge cache of arms and ammunition from the possession of the militants.
After the day-long firefight, 4 likely foreign terrorists were eliminated and large quantity of warlike stores was recovered from them, including IDs.
Meanwhile, in another incident, 3 security personnel suffered minor injuries when militants lobbed a grenade at their vehicle in Siopur town of the province on Sunday. India accuses Pakistan of training and arming militants and helping them infiltrate across the de facto border that divides Kashmir. Pakistan denies those allegations.
Meanwhile, a two-day meeting of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party office bearers and national executive was held in New Delhi on Monday. The meeting to review party performance and the impact of its policies, which began on Sunday, saw about 2,500 members of the party, including 13 chief ministers, elected lawmakers present at the meet. BJP President Amit Shah opened the meet by addressing leaders and party workers from across the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivered the valedictory address to the party workers. Elaborating on what Prime Minister Modi said, India's Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said the Prime Minister wants the party to focus on public participation as it would help eliminating corruption and terrorism.
संगठन के नाते चुनाव एक उसका अंग है, लेकिन वी शुड टेक द बीजेपी बियॉन्ड इलेक्शन एंड मेक इट एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ मास पार्टिसिपेशन सो दैट वी कैन इंप्रूव द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ ऑफ पीपल.
Moving on, Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations, Maliha Lodhi, goofed up during her right to reply at the international stage on Saturday. She used a Palestinian victim's photo and tried to pass it off as evidence of atrocities on Kashmiris.
Pakistan's ambassador to the United Nations, Maliha Lodhi, in her right to reply to India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj's speech at the UN, showed a picture of a Palestinian victim. She tried to pass off the picture of a girl with pellet injuries on her face as evidence of atrocities on Kashmiris. She said this was the face of Indian democracy while suggesting that Kashmiris had been injured by pellet guns. However, Lodhi's claims seemed to have boomeranged on her upon closer inspection of the picture. The picture was reported by a number of media outlets as that of Rabia Abu Zoma, a 17-year-old girl injured in Israeli airstrikes on Gaza City in 2014. Earlier on Saturday, India's Foreign Minister Swaraj, addressing the UN General Assembly, called Pakistan a preeminent export factory for terror. Swaraj rejected allegations by Pakistani Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi at the World Body earlier in the week, in which he accused India of state-sponsored terrorism and violating human rights.
The 36th session of Human Rights Council is underway in Geneva. Baloch and Kashmiri activists on the sidelines of the session are highlighting the growing atrocities of Pakistan on the Baloch and Kashmiris of Pakistan-administered Kashmir.
Bawal Mangal, activist of the World Baloch Organization, recently drew the attention of the international community towards the growing atrocities of Pakistan on the people of Balochistan. Speaking on the sidelines of Human Rights Commission session, he questioned as to why it is not being recognized that even after being the member of the Council, Pakistan has blatantly been working against all its stands.
70 years of brutalities, 5,000 innocent men and women killed, 18,000 missing people and 250,000 displaced. I ask, is this not enough? Mr. President, I ask the Council, why does the world ignore the plight of the Baloch people? Why must more Baloch people die?
Meanwhile, Junaid Qureshi, director of European Foundation for South Asian Studies, also raised the concern of Pakistani atrocities on people of Pakistan-administered Kashmir.
For how long will the world, including the UN, remain quiet to the brazen export of terrorism manufactured in Rawalpindi at GHQ? For how long will the international community allow Pakistan to get us Kashmiris killed?
Qureshi demanded peace with dignity and honor of Kashmiris and not the peace of graveyards.
In news from Afghanistan, the premiere of a new film by Roya Sadat, the first women director in the Afghan cinema post-Taliban era, was screened in capital Kabul on Sunday. Titled A Letter to the President, Roya's new film showcases the hardships of a woman in Afghanistan.
The premiere of a new film by the first woman director post-Taliban era in Afghan cinema was screened to an elite group of dignitaries in capital Kabul on Sunday. Roya Sadat's new film titled A Letter to the President is the story of a woman and her hardships in Afghanistan. The 90-minute full-length movie took 2 years to complete. Sadat is an award-winning director who successfully brought touching stories to international festivals. She debuted in 2004 with feature film 3 Dots.
Moving on to news from Nepal, the Janakpur-Jayanagar railway connecting Nepal and India has remained non-functional for the last 3 years. The repair and construction is currently underway and services are set to resume by 2018 with financial help from India.
It's been 3 years that the engines of Nepal's only railway service fell silent. The coaches turned as playing side for children and as a place to bask the cow dung for the locals of Janakpur. Janakpur to Jayanagar railway that once connected southeast Nepal and eastern India is all set to resume its services next year after the completion of reconstruction work. After the services were stalled from 2014, the trade through at this point was shifted to other border points.
अर्थवर्क पनि सिद्धियो अब तपाईको कलभटको पनि लगभग सबै सिद्धिसकेको छ अनि पुल पनि अब लास्टतिर पनि पुल पनि सिद्ध्न लागेको छ.
With the revival of the freight, the locals are excited for the ease in transport, reduction of the time consumption and generation of economy. The project will be completed in 3 phases, which is estimated to cost 5.48 billion Indian rupees, mostly aided by Indian government.
Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh have started building shelters for themselves on government land released to them. Thousands of Rohingyas fleeing violence in western Myanmar since last month have sought refuge in Bangladesh.
Rohingya refugees who recently arrived in Bangladesh fleeing violence in Myanmar were busy building shelters on Sunday on land released to them by the Bangladeshi government. The hill in Tangali camp was used by the government to grow a variety of trees and plants for commercial use. But now, this has been removed and bamboo structures have started to appear. The refugees say each shelter takes about 4 days to complete, and after completion the hill will be home to about 57 families. Meanwhile, Myanmar army on Sunday claimed to have found bodies of 28 Hindu villagers who authorities suspect were killed by Rohingya insurgents last month, according to media reports. The military crackdown in Myanmar's western Rakhine province have forced thousands of Rohingyas into neighbouring Bangladesh and other countries. The violence began on August 25 when Rohingya insurgents attacked security forces, killing around 12 people.
A food festival promoting the use of traditional ingredients was recently held in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. The event attracted a large number of visitors who enjoyed the Kashmiri cuisines made from forest herbs and vegetables.
Scores of people in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province recently thronged a food festival to enjoy the Kashmiri cuisines made from traditional ingredients. The event aimed at promoting the long-forgotten forest herbs, vegetables and offered a variety of food items prepared with the same. The dishes at the event included both sweet and savoury snacks, main course items and beverages like tea.
सबसे पहले बात ये थी कि जितनी मैक्सिमम चीज़ें इसमें एट द वर्ज ऑफ एक्सटिंक्शन है, आपके हर्ब्स की बात करें या वाइल्ड वेजिटेबल्स की बात करें, बहुत सारी चीज़ें बल्कि ख़त्म हो गई हैं जो बहुत दूर दराज इलाकों में अब थोड़ी सी मिलती है। वो ये था कि हम इन्हें रिवाइव करें और जो यंग जनरेशन है, बहुत लोगों ने उसमें इन कुछ चीज़ों को देखा भी नहीं है, नाम तो दूर की बात है।
For the understanding of the visitors, the dishes were displayed with their ingredients kept beside them. Known to be as heavenly as its picturesque beauty, the history of modern Kashmiri cuisine can be traced back to the 15th century.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India's ruling BJP holds national executive meet in New Delhi, discusses strategy. Pakistan's UN ambassador goofs up, labels Palestinian victim as Kashmiri girl. And railway line connecting Nepal, India to become functional from next year. Now, our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.